What is up, Flockers? That is my fellow Lockers and aspiring Lockers. In today's video, I am ready to get rid of this facelift of a hairstyle. So let's get into it with this takedown. Let me know, does anyone else struggle with nighttime tenderheadedness? You're probably like, what is nighttime tenderheadedness? Y'all, I swear I am not tender-headed at all. Like, have no problems with people braiding my scalp and braiding my ancestors, pulling my ancestors through my scalp when braiding, when my hair was loose natural. But I'm a nighttime tenderhead, meaning that the moment I try to put my head down on my pillow, my head starts hurting. I was fine all throughout the days, had no issues, nothing like that. But the moment I try to go to sleep at night, I know it's because you're putting pressure on it, but I'm telling y'all, I had no tenderheadedness during the day. Second I lay down, I'm like wide awake. So almost a night of insomnia due to some doggone braids. That's why I can't leave styles in my hair overnight. It just doesn't work. All right, so I figured I wanted to change this video up a little bit and do something a little different than I normally would do. So instead of sitting here and boring y'all with the entire speed up of this takedown, I figured I would turn today into a bit of a story time. So let me get some of these loosened up a little bit and then we will come back with the story for you. All right, so I feel like I got enough of them started to go ahead and start the story time, because I wasn't about to sit here and let y'all see me struggle on camera trying to get the ends out. We're gonna call this one, Don't Touch My Hair. I lived overseas for a little over 7 years in another country, and before I went to this country, I knew that there were very limited people that looked like me there, and by limited I mean only other students. Like I said, I was there for 7 years. I wasn't military. I was studying and working. And yeah, I just knew I had locks when I went over, because I knew that there weren't going to be people who were going to be able to do my hair, to understand my hair. I knew that there weren't going to be hair products over there for black people. And so I said, let me go ahead and take ownership of my hair and my style so that I can make sure that it's something that I can keep up with and maintain, because I wasn't trying to have to cut my hair every 2 weeks while I was in another country. So I had locks. I had prepared before moving over there to have locks. Wonderful. And then, as I mentioned in my lock misconception video, or biggest misconceptions about locks, that sometimes one of the misconceptions that people have about locks is that you smoke that ganja, that reefer. And so drop down in the comments and let me know if, when you've traveled abroad, or maybe even here when you've come in contact with people have assumed that you smoke that stuff just because you have locks. But yeah, that was a common thing I heard. And it wasn't even an insult or anything like that. It was just people genuinely thought that, because I don't know other people's experience, but a lot of times, at least in this country in particular, a lot of what people have to go off of is what they've seen in movies. So what Hollywood portrays to them, or what Hollywood has portrayed in the past, is their perception of America and Americans, and especially what pertains to Black Americans and our culture. So they get a lot of the thug culture and the gangster culture. I don't know how many times people are like, are you a gangster? Do you have this and that, weapons and stuff like that? I'm like, no, I don't. But yeah, just people not knowing, because, when you don't have representation, you don't have that in your country, unless you travel yourself to other countries and get to meet people yourself, then you're just stuck with what you see on television. So I understand that from that perspective. Getting to the don't touch my hair. So I had locks, and this is probably a couple of years into me being in this country. My locks have gotten, I won't say long, but long enough that they were probably hitting my collarbone. So I think on this particular day, I had my hair in a half up, half down situation, and I had been on public transportation. I don't remember where I was coming from or where I was going. I think I was going back to my dorm and on public transportation. So I was, in the underground metro system, and I'm coming up the metro, or going up the escalator, minding my business. I don't know if I had headphones on or not. I can't remember. Minding my business, going up the escalator, and all of a sudden, I get yanked. Boom. Okay, and I'm not exaggerating for the camera. I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, like, legit yanked. And I'm like, hold up now. First of all, I was in shock because I'm like, I mean, it all happened within a millisecond, but I'm like, what on this green earth would, like, yeah. So I'm just shooketh, trying to figure out what happened. Like, and I turn around and there's this person who, they weren't even trying to yank me. I think it just had to do with the centrifugal force of the escalator, of me going up and them going up, but them trying to touch my hair. Thank goodness I had traditional locks, and so the yank didn't cause anything to fall out or to damage my roots or my scalp. But I got yanked. And when I realized that this person was just trying to touch my hair and that they were trying to be innocent about it, can I tell you, when I turned around and looked at that person, I gave them that death stare. Now, you know what I'm talking about, that look. You know that look that your mother used to give you in church when you were talking or acting up when the preacher was on stage and she gave you that pinch and you had them tears welling up in your eyes, but then she gave you that look to let you know you better not cry and embarrass me in front of all these people. Look, that same look, the one that you give your kids when you go into a grocery store, and you know good and God well that before you got into that store, you told them, do not ask for anything, do not touch anything, we are not buying any candy or any toys, and yet they still proceed to ask you for something. I gave them that look, the same look that when you go out with some friends to a restaurant and all of them are eating huge course meals and all you get is some appetizer or something small, and then when the bill comes they talk about let's split it evenly. Yeah, y'all know that look. That look like whoo, that look like if I wasn't saved and sanctified I'd be putting these Will Smith hands on you. Ooh, too soon, D, too soon. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The look. There are multiple the looks, but y'all know which look I'm talking about. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you've had that look from a grandma or a mom or a dad, or you've given the look yourself, and tell me what your look was for, whether it was coming at you or whether it was coming from you. What's the look that you've given or that someone's giving you, and what was it for? So yeah, I give this person the look, and I'm just like, are you out your God forbidden sake in mind? Whatever the saying is. Like, how dare you put your hands on me, and not only put your hands on me, but put your hands on my hair, and then even took it a step further to the point where you're yanking me because we're on an escalator and I'm over here about to fall back because you decided that you wanted to see what my hair felt like. So of course they apologized profusely and they were just like, oh, I'm so sorry, I just wanted to touch your hair. And baby, it took everything in me because I'm like, okay, D, you're in a different culture, you're in a place where the only time you ever see other black people, except for the couple of friends that you've made who are from other countries as well, is when you look in the mirror. So you got to have a little bit of grace for people. But yeah. So from that day, I mean, I was already against people touching my crown, but from that day, I'm really like, if I don't know you and I have not given you permission to touch my hair, regardless of what form it is in, regardless if you have never seen hair like that before, don't touch my hair. Don't touch my hair. It's not even a question. It's not a conversation. It will be a conclusion, but just don't touch my hair, because I will give you the look. I'll cuss you out left, right. No, I won't. Drop down in the comments and let me know your experience. Have you ever had someone touch your hair, whether it was in locks or it was in its natural form or process form, whatever it was? Have you ever had someone touch your hair that was not your hairdresser, or not someone that you have given permission to, just a random stranger that you've never met before that took it upon themselves to explore and use you as that vessel of exploration to find out something new? Drop down and let me know just how it made you feel. What was the situation? How did you deal with it? I'd just be interested to know and to hear some other people's stories, because I know I'm not the only one. We hear about all the time about people touching hair. Solange wrote a whole doggone song about it. Clearly it's an issue. Hopefully people are being educated a little bit better in the sense of just common sense etiquette and knowing that it's not okay to touch another human being without their consent and without permission. So hopefully we're doing better at teaching ourselves, teaching our children to be respectful of other people's personal space and whatnot. Look at that, y'all. I'm done. That did not take that long. And now we got a nice little braid out. But like I said, my Botox style is gone. Now when I raise my eyebrows, we got the wrinkles again, but that's all right. Make sure to hit that like button so I know what type of content you are enjoying, and hit that subscribe button so that you can join the flock. And while you're here, stick around and watch some of my other videos that have popped up. I will see you over there.